So going into this 2024 season, he was hoping a bit of progression, a bit of something. At least he was hoping for something. You're hoping a bit of improvement for from 2023. So 2024, it's Jonathan Gannon's second year as a head coach, and you want to kind of see where this team is going to be, especially under this with the GM and the head coach. Especially when they had the previous year, 2023's draft class, they traded up in third place to get Will Anderson Jr. on that edge. So they go into 2024. They start 1-2. Well, let's go back a bit. In the preseason, they traded away Hollywood Brown to the Chiefs. They traded away DeAndre Hopkins, and they traded Rondale Moore for Desmond Ridder. So Desmond Ridder comes in for a couple of games in 2024. And you start 1-2, so not a bad start, but it is what it is. You have Trey McBride, you have guys like Trey McBride, Juwan Williams, Zay Jones, and then you've got Marvin Mims Jr. Not Marvin Mims, Marvin Harrison Jr. Darius Robinson defensive end. You have Trey Benson a running back. Passing yards, they were 18th out of 32, points for, 12th out of 32, points against, 15th out of 32. They were second in rushing yards, so running the ball, they were pretty impressive on that running side of the ball, second in the league. But again, it's like you're passing, like you was 18th in passing, and especially looking at a guy like Kyler Murray, he's not the guy. And they're doing the same thing what the Giants did with Danny Dimes. They're sticking to this whole old regime mindset. They have a new GM, new head coach, but they're sticking with the old GM's fucking regime, where they give Kyler Murray this $160 million, $180 whatever it was $million 2-ish years ago, and they're sticking with this. And again, they're stuck with this deal because again at the time they thought Kyler Murray was the fucking guy. And like, dude, he's not. He was never the fucking guy. He's either uninterested or not fucking. He's not the guy, and he comes and a lot of his games like they had a clause in his contract, a study clause. Like, if the dude isn't fucking all in on practice, then why the fuck is he on this team? Why is he in the NFL? That's my mindset. So they have Kyler Murray. I don't know how long, but I think it's about a 4-year deal. So again, it should be coming up soon, but. This is where the problem is that they're in a division in the NFC West where you're in there with, as I'm recording this on the second, Matthew Stafford's with the Rams. You have Geno Smith with Seattle. Again, he's not a Super Bowl winning head quarterback, but again, he's not a bad hand to have a quarterback. And then you look at the kind of 49ers, they have Brock Purdy, which again, whatever. So again, you're looking at really trying to build a roster to contend with these teams, and contend with going up against the Chiefs or an Eagles or the Bills or the Ravens or even like the Lions. And you have Kyler Murray as your quarterback, so it's just what it is. But again, the additions you need to work on, you need to work on edge, defensive line, because again, points against, you was 15th in defense. Like again, that's kind of the side of the ball you need to address. Edge, defensive line, somebody to help Will Anderson Jr. And then you look at wide receiver. You need some weapons around Kyler Murray. Again, James Conner had over 1,000 receiving yards. Again, he had a pretty decent season, but again, you can move on from him. Again, you look at James Conner, move him on. He's been on this roster a number of years. He hasn't really done that much. He's had some good individual seasons, but yeah, you can move him on. He's not going to be really missed if you moved him on. And then Trey McBride had over 1,046 receiving yards. Kyler Murray himself only had 2,850 passing yards. So again, you need to edge defensive line. You need a wide receiver, offensive tackle. You need a linebacker. You need to work on that inside linebacker as well. Get an inside linebacker and then a cornerback. You have 75 million in cap space, so again, you've got a lot of cap space to really juggle. You got to juggle a couple of these additions around and see what you want in the draft. And but you're looking at it, wide receiver. I'm looking at two kind of additions you can get. T. Higgins is still on the market. He hasn't been snapped up by anybody. and then I'm looking at maybe a Cooper Cup. Again, not ideal because again you don't have the quarterback for him, but he's not a bad hand to have. I know he's in his early 30s now, but you could have him. But I think that's too real. I think that's a bit over realistic for the Cardinals. So again, I would go for like a T Higgins or somebody like that. You're looking at an edge, Abdul Carter maybe, or you're looking at cornerback. You could look at a cornerback and just find somebody maybe in the free agency, or you could find somebody in the draft. But it all depends. And then again, you need to look on that trenches on the defensive side of the ball. The offensive line has to be addressed. But yeah, overall, let's see what the Cardinals do going into the 2025 season, and let's see what they do in this draft and in the free agency.